I'm speaking for Team C. My name is Melissa Rizunga. The team also includes Walsha McLeod, Frong Wen, Renard Page, Anthony Robinson, Juan Rojo, Elise Risotto. Our presentation is on all police officers should wear body cameras. Introduction. Body cameras are worn to hold police accountable for their actions and reduce the violence of excess force on citizens. We propose that police body-worn cameras increase the safety of the public and police officers.
I'm just a step away, I'm just a breath away, losing my faith today. I'm falling off the edge today. I am just a man, not superhuman. I'm not superhuman. Someone save me from...
Greetings everyone and Professor, this is Feng Win and I will be presenting parts of the introduction of our project proposing why the needs of implementing police body-worn cameras nationwide. From June 2015 to March 2016, an estimated of 1,900 deaths were attest-related, and 64 of that number was homicides according to the 2016 data sheets of Bureau of Justice Statistics. Now let's recall, we all watch the news, we see the senseless violence, and maybe it hits closer to home for some of us. So let's make a change together and demand the use of body cameras for the who want to protect and serve us, the public. Here is a short excerpt letter from a Birmingham jail credibility statement written by Martin Luther King Jr. in April 16, 1963. While confined here in the Birmingham City Jail, I came across your recent statement calling my present activities unwise and untimely. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Never again can we afford to live with the narrow, provincial, quote, outside agitator idea. Anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider anywhere within its bounds. Its ugly record of brutality is widely known. When would a merciless killing of unarmed Americans be put to an end? Too many Americans do not feel that all law enforcement officials are justly and fairly enough considered responsible for their activities, nor do they treat racial gatherings similarly or use the appropriate measure of force, and it is being ignored. For too many people in America, the trust that is so essential to effective policing does not exist, because residents believe that police have used excessive force, or that law enforcement is biased, disrespectful, and unfair. When citizens do not trust the local police officer, they are left willing to report crime and less willing to be witnesses in criminal cases. At the same time, there are places where distrust and tension are high on both sides, even in some of the communities that benefit from additional policing services. Some residents do not feel that they are better off, especially in the minority neighborhoods. Some are still wondering whether the success in reducing crime comes at a cost of overly aggressive police officers who ignore the civil liberties of those they serve. With the rise in police brutality and an increase in number of deaths by police, body-worn cameras are worn to hold the police accountable for their actions and reduce the violence of excessive force on citizens.
It's just another war, just another family torn from my feet today. Just a step on the edge, just another day in the world we live.
Supporting details. Okay, so let's give a brief description of the body cameras. Body-worn cameras are a video recording system associated with the police officers and the general society. The recorders are about 3 to 4 inches long, which is the perfect size for any officer to wear. The body cameras also have a cloud-based service, which is a service that is made available to users on demand from cloud computing servers. Body cameras have an average capacity of 18 through 16 gigabytes, recording up to 12 through 14 hours, which is more than enough time for recording throughout any officer's day. Body cams have a clarity of about 1280 through 720 pixels. If you take a look at the picture on the screen, it gives a brief illustration of how Wolf Cloud works. It is as simple as recording video footage and storing it into a storage space that we call a cloud. This cloud is very similar to the cloud that we use on our cell phones today. The clouds that we use on our cell phone today, we store video footage as well as pictures. And this cloud allows all police footage to be stored.
Body cameras hold police accountable for their appropriate and inappropriate conduct. Research suggests that most types of species modify their conduct once made aware that they are being watched. We can therefore theorize that rational people, including our fellow police officers, are probably not going to grasp socially undesirable conduct when recorded. In cooperation, both police and people will be less inclined to use brutality, creating a safer environment for the overall population.
Is being sworn in taken lightly? I think so. Wondering what happened to the public servants who are sworn to protect us in public. What's been happening with that? At least in the year 2015, the board received 4,469 complaints within its New York jurisdiction. That's one city alone in the whole nation, receiving almost 5,000. Think about the nation as a whole. 47 complaints were encompassed, and allegations were improper and excessive use of force. A lot of these allegations were fulfilled and actually taken to the full extent of the law. Seems like police officers had a lot to do with these allegations, and were actually, taken into consideration against them, being proven that excessive force was being used.
I've gotta fight today to live another day, speaking my mind today.
My voice will be heard today.
I've gotta make a stand, but I am just a man.
I'm not superhuman.
My voice will be heard.
Evidence is shown that after some examination and some of this experimenting of the cameras, have actually diminished some of these allegations by 53%. Seems like these cameras do the work and function for its purpose. So we should all be in favor of these body cameras for police officers.
As you take a look at the chart that is attached to this slide, this chart goes over the percentage of potential arrest-related deaths identified through the Open Resource Review of 2015 and 2016 without the use of body cameras. This chart is based on the Bureau of Justice Statistics Arrest-Related Deaths Program Redesign Study of 2015 and 2016. If you take a look at this chart, the x-axis covers the number of articles where these arrest-related deaths had happened. Also, the y-axis covers the percent of deaths per article. So as you look at this, the first three articles, they're going to have over at 9 or above percent of deaths that had happened in just those three articles alone. The first article being of 18% of deaths, second article of 11% of death, and 9% of the third article. Between 4 and 10 articles, 30% of deaths had happened based on arrest-related incidents that were reported. These numbers have slowly gone down. Between 11 and 20, only 15% of deaths had happened in those articles. Between 21 and 100, only 9% of deaths had happened. With 101 or more of these articles, only 2% of arrest-related deaths had happened.
It's just another war, just another family torn.
Will be had today.
It's just another kill. The countdown begins to destroy us.
Complaint follow-up. Police Department action is substantiated CCRB complaints. As we take a look at the statistics chart, we notice since 2007 there has been an increase of New York PD pursued discipline and a decrease of officers with no discipline at all. Now, if you also notice, there has been a decline in statute of limitations that expired. Now, take a look and notice there has been a decrease in officers resigning, but in 2010, there wasn't any at all. The effects of body camera determines a positive impact. Results indicate the use of body cameras to adjust police officer and public's behavior. Now, if you notice on this chart, from 2009 through 2013, there has been a significant decline in the use of force and complaints, and this is the effect result of body camera use.
Save me now. I need a hero. I need a hero. Save my life. A hero will save me.
How law enforcement identifies with us, the people they serve, in regards to the appropriate usage of force is an issue that cannot continue. Realize, at the end of the day, when all clothes come off, we are all the same. Implementing body-worn cameras starts the creation of self-awareness. It helps the process of weaning out all of the bad seeds and encourages new generations of positive relationships with our protectors. Team C and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation.